There's a really, really cool article that came out yesterday from Mike DeCourcy for the Sporting News on Braden Smith. And it's a very unique angle to write about Braden Smith that Mike chose, and I just love it. I encourage everybody to read it. But it just a bunch of words and quotes here about Braden Smith's quest to one, become the all time NCAA assist leader, but two, more importantly, if you listen to Braden, win an NCAA championship and cement his legacy as an all time winner. In this interview, we have direct quotes from Braden about, you know, the decision to come back to Purdue, going through the draft process, being courted by other schools, all these things. Like, does he care about the assist record? Does he care about other things more? It's really cool and revealing and honest from Braden to hear his perspective on all of this. We also have quotes and interviews from the people that Braden Smith is chasing down and looking to pass on the all time NCAA assists record. Bobby Hurley gave some quotes on what he perceives Braden Smith to be and if he will be hurt, upset, or happy for Braden when the time comes if he passes him on the record sheet. So it's very cool. Shout out to DeCourcy for approaching it this way. Just an awesome article. Shout out to Joe Jackson, who used to work with us a little bit, by the way, who had a video he worked on embedded in this article. Pretty cool to see. Anyways, Braden had a quote here that I want to read to you that I think speaks to a lot about how Braden views the game of college basketball, what he prioritizes, and where this is headed. Braden said this after being courted by other teams this summer. There were offers on the table. We've heard this story already, but it wasn't really a question because of one reason. This is what Braden said about returning to Purdue. Legacy is a huge part of it. My goal is to get my number hung up in the rafters. My goal is to be remembered as one of the guys that brought a championship to Purdue. Some of the stuff, accolades I could get this year, that's obviously my goal as well. And I feel this is the best place for me to do it. There's a lot of people that threw a lot of stuff out, but at the end of the day, those things I mentioned are way more important. End quote. Those things he mentioned being legacy, getting my number hung up in the rafters, and being one of the guys that brought Purdue a championship. Does any of this surprise you, and what are your thoughts?
No, because I think Braden is I think he's very aware of what's in front of him and what he can accomplish as a player, just personally and what he can do, and then also just for Purdue. Like everything in front of him is legacy cementing stuff. Like conversations of him being the best point guard in college basketball history. If you can be in that conversation, you can surely be in the conversation as the best point guard in Purdue history. He already is that, in my opinion. So, um, yeah, I think that Paint talked about last year, they didn't talk enough about Final Fours and talk enough about getting to certain places. So I think this year he mentioned that they have been a little bit more up front and just not acting like they don't have all this in front of them and this opportunity in front of them. And I feel like Braden's approaching that the same way with his own legacy, and that's in college basketball and with Purdue. Um, the one thing I'll say is that you can. I feel like we need to make sure that everything on that like little checklist he has is something that he's very much focusing on. And in my opinion, you can just remove the Rafters one, you'll be there. That's already going to happen. Like actually surely going to happen. I'm pretty sure, once again, the Rafters department for every single school, there's guidelines on how they get up there. I'm pretty sure if you're an All-American, you get up in the Rafters. They don't retire jerseys there. They never retire jerseys. But they'll put your jersey in the Rafters if you're of All-American status. Braden's is gonna be up there. You don't really need to focus on that. Do whatever you want this year. You'll be up there. But everything else, I think that he's just very aware of what this year can mean to his legacy, both with Purdue and in college basketball, like lore.
Yeah, I can only interpret that quote. My goal is to get my number hung up in the rafters. I can only interpret that quote one way. He's talking about these rafters behind me because
Yeah.
his jersey's already in the Purdue
Yeah,
raft.
Mackey Rafters already have the spot like, taped off.
Yeah, they already have the Braden Smith corner in the concourse of Mackey. You know how they have these little like
Yeah.
crevices where there's like players and stuff. Like Braden's shoes are already on display in one section of Mackey. On a serious note, like Braden, my guy, I hope you realize that. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be hungry and still competitive, but like sometimes I actually think Braden is so humble that he doesn't realize what he already has done. Like, he is the greatest point guard in Purdue history, without question. And the moment that he cemented himself going in the rafters was the moment that he announced he's coming back to Purdue for his senior year. Whatever happens this year doesn't matter. Seriously. Just through the lens of how will he be remembered? Will he be in the rafters? Anything could happen this year, and he's in the rafters.
Yes.
Like it is what it is because he's the National Player of the Year favorite who had every school in the country wanting to steal him in an era where it's okay to leave and be stolen. And he said no, not even no, but like I'm not listening. No,
Well,
that's it's crazy.
also, I don't want to cut you off. He could have left and he would be in the rafters.
Right. So, but
He
like
was an
the
all that's how they do it.
but the moment that it was cemented, like it doesn't matter what happens next, was the moment he said, "I'm coming back for my senior year." Period. Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girls' sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy, love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more. So I think again, I hope he knows that. I hope this was kind of just like player speak, point guard speak, like being the captain, the unselfish guy that he is. I hope deep down he knows he's the greatest point guard in school history already. He doesn't have to prove anything else. Now, he does have other things he should go chase down. Absolutely. From a legacy standpoint, like the important part of this quote that resonates with everyone involved here is he wants to be remembered as one of the guys that brought a championship to Purdue. 100%. And that's why I have been adamant for the better part of a year. And I think it's one of my takes I'm most proud of coming up with. What is on the table for Braden Smith is being remembered as a greater Boilermaker than Zach Edey. If he leads this team to a national championship, he's the greatest player in school history. And he won't even care about that. What he cares about is that aforementioned championship. But look, we say it all the time. It's hard. March is fluky. The best team very rarely wins a championship. So, legacies are defined by it. If you end up being the guy that does get it there, absolutely you're going to be remembered as the greatest. But I just hope he realizes like his entire journey to this point has been so special that I like some of this stuff he doesn't even need to prove anymore. Like it would be awesome if it happens for him. But like hearing him say this to me was just like, dude, you already are this,
Well,
you know?
it's what makes him what he is and special is that like people can tell themselves they carry themselves a certain way, but it takes a mentally special individual to still have a chip on your shoulder, kind of, and be in the spot that he's in.
It's true.
It is like because straight up could not be me. Psh, this could not be me. Talking about Raptors, and I'm already up there. If anything, I'm going to media day and being like, what? I mean, I don't know. I've had talks with Coach Paint if we want to do it like before the first Big Ten game or maybe on senior day. I don't know. I'm still really deciding. Um, but like that's happening.
Yeah, I'm picturing you conducting this interview if you were the National Player of the Year, and it just sounds a lot different than this for sure. But
Also, wouldn't be at Purdue.
also true.
That bag, that
Um,
bag, that bag, that bag, 100% would have would have got me. And to my point though. I feel like we have a good read on seeing past players with the whole like nonchalant, like I'm just trying to win a championship act. Now, Braden's like actually wired like this like little psycho where he truly does still hoop like that blonde Westfield kid. Did he go to Westfield, Indy? Yeah, he still kind of hoops like that kid or carries himself like he's that when he's not, when he's got a cyber truck and he's the best point guard in college basketball and he's an absolute killer. And, you have candid coaching interviews and 1,000 out of 1,000 coaches are saying, I want Braden Smith. Like that's the world we live in.
yeah, right. Um, yeah, look, he's a special player. Everyone knows that. I think he's a special person pretty clearly. Special competitor. Like he just cares. And you look around the country, some of the other All-Americans, PJ Haggerty jumping around to losing ish programs. Darion Williams leaving a top 10 team to go to a new spot. Like there are so many guys that aren't wired the way Braden is. And it's easier to be wired. It's easier to be focused and say it's all about championships. When you're at Purdue with Matt Painter, right? Like when you have a coach that has now put you in a situation with the things you need, it's a lot easier to say that's all I care about. But the reality is Purdue's in such a good spot because Braden Smith is such a special player person, all of it. And I'm gonna soak in everything we can this year, man, for real, because we've done this like 4 years. There have been a lot of players we've covered. Don't know that we've ever covered a player as much as we've covered Braden from our entire journey on a personal note from year one, where we were skeptical of Purdue's chances because of him, and we criticized him loudly and tried to make light of it. And then year two, he just wins us over. It's like he's fixed all that. It's I don't know. His journey is one of the more unique things I've ever watched unfold, and it's going to be emotional, I think, for a lot of people when his time comes to an end at Purdue. Back to the idea of being in the rafters. I'm pretty sure they did this with Edie. Pretty sure they put or maybe that was Luca Garza. Who did the jersey in the rafters while he was in the middle of a game? Did Purdue do that?
Yeah, they did it on Edie's senior night.
Are they going to do that with Braden, you think?
I honestly, I would hope that things are being put in place right now for the first game.
Why do I have this weird feeling that when the time comes, they're not going to do it with Braden because they're going to do it with TKR and Fletcher too? You know what I mean? Like they're gonna make the Braden moment about the three of these guys
But those
instead.
guys can't go up yet
Why not?
because you have to be. That's how you get up there. You're an All-American. They have
Aren't
the
you you're
All-Americans.
aren't you using Illinois standards here?
No, that's for Purdue too. They don't retire jerseys. They put All-Americans in the rafters. Carson Edwards is up there. Ivy's up there. Edie is up there. Robbie Hummel's up there.
Are you positive of this?
Yes.
It's just if you make an All-American team.
Yes.
I thought it was different because then TKR would already be up there.
He didn't make an All-American team last year.
Yeah, he did. He was on the second team.
No, he wasn't.
I'm pretty sure he was, Cart.
Mm-mm. It was a big thing. He wasn't. He might have
Interesting.
been like a CBS Sports third team honorable mention or something like that, but he wasn't like an AP All-American.
And so you're saying the only names in the rafters at Purdue are All-Americans?
Yeah,
I don't think that's right.
I'm pretty sure it is.
We can continue this debate offline, but let us know in the comments. I think you're confusing Illinois with Purdue.
Mm-mm.
Two very
No,
different
because
things.
because Purdue is all American. Illinois is like they. I think you can do like nine other things.
Illinois is like if you averaged 9 a game and stayed 3 years.
Right. Like you stay 3 years, nine, you're special at the bar, like you're up there.